The South Korean government published its annual white paper containing the government's policies on the reunification of the Korean Peninsula, first to be published under the Yoon administration. Some notable changes have been made, especially on the government's stance towards North Korea's acts of provocation. Our Unification Ministry correspondent Kim Mok-yeon explains.
The 2023 edition of the South Korean government's White Paper on Korean Unification was released Friday, the first report of its kind published under the Yoon Suk Yeol administration. The annual report includes major government policies related to inter-Korean affairs over the past year. It includes details of government policies for improving human rights in North Korea, normalizing ties and preparing for future unification, and the administration's so-called audacious initiative, which is aimed at helping Pyongyang develop its economy in return for steps towards denuclearization. But considering the current situation on the Korean Peninsula and North Korea's continuing acts of provocation, there were some noteworthy changes in this year's document that reflected the government's tougher stance towards the regime. Seoul's Unification Ministry made official use of the term North Korea's denuclearization instead of the Korean Peninsula's denuclearization, clearly emphasizing the need for Pyongyang to give up its nuclear weapons programs. The former liberal Moon Jae-in government had officially used the latter in reference to the 1992 joint declaration of the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Such a change was also evident in the government's use of the term Washington-Pyongyang relations instead of what was traditionally used as Pyongyang-Washington relations. The white paper also directly pointed at North Korea's missile and nuclear threats as the cause of escalating tensions on the Korean Peninsula and the reason why inter-Korean exchanges haven't resumed yet. It also included phrases like North Korean provocations, which were not used in the previous administration's annual papers. Though the government hopes to head towards the path of ultimate reunification, the report clarified that the South Korean government will not accept any such threats and will respond to them decisively. Unification Minister Kwon Young-se expressed hopes that the white paper will raise public understanding of the government's inter-Korean policies and open a new path towards the unification of the two Koreas. Kim Mok-yeon, Arirang News.